No goodness, we can't turn off our phones. I don't think the colonel can either, so it may go off, so I apologize for that. I know that bothers you all, but we'll go ahead and get started. You all ready?
Everybody set? We're good. All right.
All right. Good morning. I want to thank you all for being here this morning. Exciting times here in Louisiana. As our governor always has told us to make sure that we're on the cutting edge of communications here in Louisiana. So today we're announcing a product that we've developed with a local firm. It's called AlertFM, and we've been in the process of this over the last year. It is now available to all 64 parishes. It's available as a free app on your phone. It is a communication tool that's critical to the success of response, recovery, and notification to the residents in Louisiana. Even our universities now, and they'll give you the information on that to use. One of our partners in this, a great partner, they do a great job here in Louisiana, protecting our citizens, and then also in our response, is Colonel Mike Edmondson with the State Police.
Thank you, Director Davis. I've got to applaud GOSUP under Director Davis's leadership, who stepped forward. We're the first state in the nation to utilize all parishes, all 64 parishes are utilizing this form of technology that we think is an excellent opportunity to get the message out. We saw that clearly during Katrina. It was almost like a third world country, not even in the 21st century, that for almost 3 or 4 days we had no forms of communication. And if you just go back to the Oklahoma bombing, you go back to Oklahoma bombing, 9/11, instances within New York, and Katrina, where we had no form of communication. And it's an incredibly empty feeling when you cannot pick up an apparatus and talk to somebody. And that's what we saw right here in Louisiana, the inability for us to do that. And when you talk with first responders, you saw that during the collapse of the buildings in New York, where we had first responders leaving one building because they hear that the buildings are coming down, and we have another group that's actually going into it. That's something we don't want to have to happen in Louisiana. And with AlertFM, its ability for us to identify and to get that information out and communicate to our greatest assets, and that's simply the public. I like the fact that the 44 universities and colleges in Louisiana will have the ability to get this information out to their greatest asset, and that's their students. And then in turn, we can look at the other 2,000 schools across the state of Louisiana that can get this information out. It's about communicating. And certainly, as Director Davis said, the ability for us to get out and let our citizens know when something's happening, whether it's an emergency or whether it's something as simple as an alert within the weather, this apparatus does that. So we're certainly pleased to partner with GOSET. We're certainly pleased to partner with the citizens. I'm already getting it on my phone and getting that information out, and it's just a good feeling to be able to know beforehand we think something's going to occur with the weather, or as it happens in an emergency, to get the correct information out to the public so they can do the things that we need to do. So proud to announce this with Director Davis that we're a step ahead in Louisiana, as we feel that we have been, and the first state in the nation to do a full statewide approach to alerting our citizens. Thank you, Director.
Great, thank you. As the Colonel mentioned, and I think we're going to get a demonstration, you're going to come up. As the Colonel mentioned, I've had it now, as you hear the bells going off. It alerts me with any weather activity or anything across the state of Louisiana. So it's a great tool and a resource for us. And then the communication part that we spoke about, to be able to communicate to those who have the free app. You want to come up and talk on AlertFM? Yeah.
Thank you, Director Davis. I'm the president of the company. We want to thank the governor, Director Davis, Colonel Edmondson for the foresight to install this system in Louisiana, and also the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters for their support of endorsing the commercial broadcasters to support this signal. I'd like to introduce our General Manager and Vice President Jim Lowry now, who will demonstrate the system to you.
Hi, good morning. Wanted to stress several points about what the AlertFM system does. It actually notifies citizens and other targeted recipients several different ways. It's got an EAS component, the traditional voice interruption of radio and television. So either GOSEP or the state police will be able to activate EAS using our technology. In fact, Amber Alerts will be activated using by the state police, and any type of civil emergency will be activated using done by GOSEP. And that'll be a live interrupt, voice and data of television and radio. We've also got, we use what they call the subcarrier of local FM radio stations to be able to send messages to either small desktop units such as this. It's kind of like a weather radio that you can actually send information to. We've got a wall-mounted unit that you can actually send messages to. These are going to be used by schools, hospitals, government locations, other critical facilities. And we've got, put these down. We've got other capabilities, as Director Davis mentioned. We're really excited about our new smartphone app that you can download for free. Citizens can download for free. We've got that information. Pull it up real fast. And simply download. You actually, first thing you do when you activate the app is it's going to ask you to enter a zip code. And it's going to ask you to enter a zip code. You would simply put in your zip code for your parish. That's going to register you for specific information sent out by either local or state jurisdictions, either the state police or GOSEP. The app also has some fantastic weather information. You actually, the app will follow you based on your current location, and it's going to give you local weather for your current location, as well as locations that you also choose to follow. And then also you can get information from social media like Facebook, Twitter, and we've also got the app's got the capability to broadcast video that one of our, that either state police or GOSEP might activate. So it's a really, really active, really unique, valuable piece of technology that can be downloaded for free by anybody either within Louisiana or outside. Also wanted to make mention that the AlertFM platform can also support the new federal alerting capabilities called IPAWS. And that's going to give our state and local jurisdictions new capabilities to alert citizens as well. So as Colonel Edmondson and Director Davis mentioned, the AlertFM platform's got all of the broadcast, text, as well as smartphone capabilities for an all-inclusive system. And with that, Chris, we're going to turn it over to you for a brief demonstration.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. What we'll do this morning is actually do a demonstration using East Baton Rouge Parish as the test model. So you can see 3 simple steps to go through. You choose the alert. In this case, we choose the mobile app. He's going to set the time that the alert will retrieve itself. It'll last on your phone. You can set it in 15-minute increments. In this case, he'll set it to go for about 15 more minutes. The headline will actually be an alert being set by GOSEP as a test. We'll do that. Go on to the next screen. We will select, obviously you can see each and every parish from the state. We'll put there the test message that's actually going to go out. We have the ability to select all. We'll check all 64 parishes. In this case, we will scroll down and select East Baton Rouge Parish, where we can send the test message there. He'll review the message, check it, make sure it says everything you wanted to say, and then he'll send it. And it just came over on my phone within a few seconds. Open it up, it's a push message, so it comes over, and then you can just go through here on the alert itself and see that it's a test message from GOSEP. That's it. That's how quick it works. Everybody in East Baton Rouge Parish that has downloaded this app just got this test message from GOSEP. I can do it statewide or one parish at a time, on behalf of the parish or on behalf of the governor if we need it. Yes, sir.
Give everybody your time and spelling of your name real quick.
Okay. Chris Gilbo, Guilbeaux. I'm the Assistant Deputy Director of Emergency Management for GOSEP. Questions? Thank you, Lee.
So this is basically EAS to your smartphone.
It's exactly right. We're using every bit of technology that's out there today. And I mean, the way he has built it, again, we all have multiple parishes, so we cover the entire state. But it's EAS messaging to your smartphone. That's exactly right. Free.
What kinds of messages? I mean, would it be anything? I mean, Amber alerts, weather alerts?
That's exactly correct. But we are limited on characters because of Twitter and Facebook and others, but more than enough characters to get your message across, to get people, if nothing else, pay attention, there's something else going on in that area. So it's more than enough space on it. And the apps, according to Jim feeds me reports weekly on how many apps are being downloaded. We're well over 25,000 between Mississippi and Louisiana right now, probably the two major carriers with the system. We rolled it out along with Mississippi. So, and that's before this takes place. So we feel that it's going to be a huge influx on people downloading the app. Now they know that their OEP director in each parish has this capability, and we have the capability on top of that to do that on their behalf or statewide if need be.
So each parish has this alert studio, they can create their own messages?
Yes, sir. Each parish has its own login. In the case where I have all 64 showing, the parish has theirs showing, where they can, send messages to their parishes.
If I'm a phone user, a mobile phone user, and my phone service has me as East Baton Rouge Parish, but I happen to be in Calcasieu at the time, will I get the Calcasieu alerts?
You will get weather alerts for Calcasieu because it knows where you are, but you will not get any push alerts that I put out for East Baton Rouge Parish if you are in Calcasieu. If it's one of your choices, one of my choices is Lake Charles and Calcasieu Parish, then I would get any push alert that I would put out for the Lake Charles or Calcasieu Parish area.
So you're saying if you go on vacation, and you can switch it, okay, I'm in Calcasieu.
That's correct. And you'll get the weather. You'll get the weather, whatever your current location may be, you'll get the weather. But if it's not one of your choices, you won't get my push alerts. But if it's one of your 5 choices, you will get my push alerts.
And it's a free download from where?
Free download from,
Apple stores?
yes,
Google
Apple
Play?
and,
Yeah.
jump in here.
Apple as well as the Google Play Store. And it's under AlertFM, just Alert Space FM. One note to Chris's answer about if you were in Calcasieu. It all depends what type of message it is. If it's an Amber Alert, state police is going to send it out statewide. So you actually would, in other words, he's going to send it, the message would be sent to all parishes, so you would get that information. And if it's a particular message from GOSEP that gets sent to a large number of parishes, if it's hurricane related or if it's something sent statewide, it all depends on the message.
Follow up on that with the GPS feature of it. If I'm in Calcasieu and it's an East Baton Rouge Parish alert, will I get it?
Well, again, it all
If I
depends.
sign-
It all depends, right? It all depends on if it's a weather push, you would get it because that's based on your current location, as you'll see on the app. For text alerts, for local parish alerts, you in effect register for one particular parish to get that information. So it all depends on how you register. One other thing that we might mention that we've spoken with GOSEP and a lot of the coastal parishes about is the potential use of the system post-evacuation, storm evacuation, where not only getting information to people during the evacuation phase, but also as they're evacuated, how do you communicate with them to tell them either to come home or not to come home? And we hope that the system will be using not only the FM capability that's available out of state, but also the app, which is obviously available if you've got a cell phone or Wi-Fi.
Contraflow would be sent on this thing, right? Contraflow messages?
We certainly can. If we're going to activate, or state police and DOTD, choose to activate that with the Unified Command Group, those messages statewide can be put out that contraflow start at a certain time and of course end at a certain time. So that's exactly right. In many scenarios this can be used for, where we click on statewide and everybody gets it. that's downloaded, regardless of what your location is or what parishes you have chosen. So it's going to get to you.
So I guess the only real vulnerability in getting the information out would be if cell communications are completely, if it were that bad.
It would have to be a total destruction of all cell phone towers, because, you know, you roam on 2 or 3 at any given time. And I mean, that was one thing that was working during Katrina, was text messages. It just wasn't as big as it is today. But it was one of the very few capabilities that remained after Katrina, because that takes a very low connection and not much size of what you use.
Well, and remember also that that's the main purpose of the RDS, or the FM component, assuming, you know, people have purchased one of the receiving devices, which is available, you know, we're talking around $40. So it's about the cost of a weather radio. And the same functionality that we showed you to send messages to the app is available to be sent to these low-cost, portable, battery-powered RDS receivers, or AlertFM receivers. So, and we have built the network. We've actually installed equipment on over 100 radio stations around the state of Louisiana to build a truly redundant messaging source for the AlertFM receivers. And they auto-tune, so if a receiver is listening to one particular station that gets knocked off the air during a storm, the receiver automatically tunes itself to the next strongest station in that area. So it's a really neat mobile alerting device.
Can you pick up what you're putting out on just a regular radio?
No, that's back to what we said earlier. It uses the subcarrier of these local stations. So it's a data, or it's a text message. You'll hear a tone, a beep, it's a loud tone, it'll wake you up. And then you'll see the message that the state of the parishes or state police push out.
They only allow that on Amber Alert, because that took a specific sanction, Amber Alert, because it's a missing child. You can't just do that on Amber, to actually break in on that type of component.
So the radio stations that have this stuff installed at their locations, it's just basically a repeater, more or less, to continue the signal?
Yeah, it's actually quite a bit of infrastructure. There's a satellite, the whole system is satellite based. So you put satellite equipment, satellite download equipment at each radio station. There's a piece of equipment that then moves the data to what they call an encoder. And then the encoder is actually what pushes the information out to the FM receivers. So we have, in fact, a great bulk of the cost of the project was the installation and maintenance over the length of the contract of this FM equipment that's at the radio stations. That's why we want to stress that this is a multi-modal or multi-contact path alerting system between voice, data, text, as well as the smartphones.
And just a reminder that all of this technology and everything we've purchased so far and continue to use is all provided by a federal grant under hazard mitigation funds from the federal government. So well used.
Putting that thing down on the
Sure.
podium?
Both of them. This has got a Hines County message on it.
Yeah, that's another question.
Yeah, this
If one would rather have the pocket unit or the wall unit, where do they go to find that? If one would like a wall unit or a pocket unit, where do they go to find that?
Go to our website first, which is www.alertfm.com, and we will actually ship the unit, pre-program it for them for their parish, and ship it to them for free. So, so the $39.99 price includes all of that. The programming it's critical to make sure that the units are programmed for the proper jurisdiction to make sure that they get the appropriate information.
So these two devices would be more for leaving it at home, leaving it in one area.
You can take it, yeah.
This
I mean,
one, the big one's definitely wall mounted. This one you can take with you, right? And as you go from one radio station to the next, it'll pick you up.
Oh, so it'll know, so if you're in Mandeville,
Yeah.
it'll read those radio stations.
Well, we found on Katrina, I actually commandeered as parish president a radio station because we couldn't communicate. But if I would have had that at the time with my residents, we could have communicated.
And it also gets alerts anywhere in the nation. The system's up. Once you buy it, it'll work in Florida, Texas, wherever AlertFM's there. So if you move, it still works.
Once you guys are set, Chris is gonna go through that little demonstration again. If you need the shots, different angles on the different shots, it'll be the same thing he did a second ago. Just whenever y'all are ready. Yeah.
So we'll run it again, because I had my tone off. The tone is important for me.
I say, yeah, we were all sitting there like,
It was, it's the middle of the night when this thing goes off, because it's not a ringtone you can download. It's
Well, maybe I'll get some audio of that tone. Hold
it'll
on.
definitely get your attention.
Hang on.
Jeff, say,
So we'll go from a blank screen.
Right into your shot.
Lee, you still at the con? Still down there? Okay, Lee, let's run another one.
Hold it out.
Lee, whenever you're ready, they just gonna get some video of my phone of it going off, so you can run through the system and put it on there.
Mind open it up, going through the app a little bit, showing us what we can, what else?
So, that obviously looks like that. I believe.
1 second, go back.
Alert came across, you can see this is my Baton Rouge one, I have Shreveport and Lake Charles and other areas. Flash forward. Here, the text alerts, down at the bottom. The first one came off the system already, remember you said it for 15 minutes, so it's disappeared. There we go, everything we type, second test, AlertFM, 23 May. Second, we said test, and AlertFM system, 23 May. Everything that we put in those two boxes will come to this screen. On the weather portion is when you have everything. The flood warnings that are in for Baton Rouge because of the Mississippi River. Move forward, if you drive it. So if you're driving and you get a weather report, you don't have to try to read it, you can press the little go button and it'll read it out to you, speech to text. Yeah. He has a problem with the word Chapelaya, but besides that, he not too bad.
I remember.
Exactly. So,
Kevin
Does that
brings
count
up a
as
good
using
question.
social media while you're behind the wheel?
So any weather alert you get up here for your locations, you can listen to